What's being called a humanitarian crisis. Huge crisis indeed. This year alone, get this, more than 52,000 unaccompanied children have crossed the southwest border into the United States. And now what to do with them? That was the question on Capitol Hill today. Listen to this exchange between Republican Congressman Mike Rogers and the Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson.
But why aren't we putting them on a bus like we normally do and send them back down to Guatemala?
Because the law requires that I turn them over to HHS, sir.
Well, the law required Obamacare to be kicked in 2 years ago, and that hadn't stopped the administration before when it wants to do something different. This is a humanitarian crisis.
Let's discuss what's going on. Polo Sandoval is joining us. He monitored this hearing. It got pretty tense. I must say it is a humanitarian crisis, what's going on. But there are separate rules for children who come across that border unaccompanied, undocumented, as opposed to adults.
And that was a huge talking point that was discussed earlier today, Wolf. And that was the process that these kids go through on a daily basis after they're apprehended. After they hit a certain age, they obviously fall under the adult category. But for the children, they're held in Customs and Border Protection custody for about 72 hours, as the law requires. After that, they're eventually released out into several detention facilities across the country. And then eventually after that, new reports from our congressional sources that I just got off the phone with now reporting about 85% of them are eventually returned to their parents, likely in the United States.
In the United States, if their parents here, they can go live in Baltimore or Cleveland or any place else with separate rules, as we've all come to learn, for the kids as opposed to the adults. And the chairman of this House Homeland Security Committee, Mike McFaul, he had new numbers that he was talking about, huge numbers, anticipating what could happen in the coming year.
The numbers now showing that it's expected to rise up to 90,000 kids by the end of this year. And the chairman of that committee, as you mentioned there, he was very quick to point out those numbers that they're seeing. And he was also making it very clear that there needs to be a solution here. Right now, the states, for example, the state of Texas, which is perhaps the busiest, now forking over some major money, about $1.3 million, almost on a weekly basis, for state authorities to try to tackle this issue. But I thought, well, the main takeaway here